Good evening and welcome back. I'm Teddy, and tonight it's analyze this mess right now. It's 7:49, and it's January the 9th, 2026. So come on in and join me because at first I put, did I miss something? Well, I did, and I just changed my title. I did. Wait a minute here. Hang on. Let me know that the sound is good. Yeah. Something about stalling. Yeah. Because that's what this is. And you will understand, and I'm going to share it with you. As you come in, would you go ahead and hit the like? I wouldn't mind that. Engage. I'm Teddy. And yes, there were 3 separate filings on Wednesday that didn't hit the docket until yesterday. When I took a look, I was looking at the very last one. The one just above it was a notice, so I didn't open it, but not realizing that there was a filing for a stay. A stay. And I'm going to go over this because it's a little bit more than just asking for a stay. It really explains why. Without me looking at it, I've been talking about this. Yes. They don't want discovery, D for discovery, to begin. They want pause on everything while the judge is deciding this motion that they just filed for this Rule 19. And, well, we will just get through it, won't we? Before I get too deep into it. Yeah, so let me just slow this down. I know, yesterday, because this filing, on the surface, it looks complicated on purpose. Yes, so what I'm seeing right now in this ECF 125, and I'm going to show it to you, not about evidence. It's not about truth. Did I say fair use commentary? I just did. This is my opinion. This is my platform. And this is what I see so far. I don't have all the answers. As I just said, I don't think, not even think for a moment, this is about truth and not about whether the defendant did what she admitted she did. It's about time. We put clocks up. Well, this one is about time. This is a motion, this stay, to freeze the case. She's asking the court to stop discovery, to stop disclosures, to stop everything. All while she argues threshold issues that she created herself. Let me pause for a moment. If you join me like a couple of days or so, I said D for deadlock, didn't I? And sure enough, someone took that word and is trying to create a deadlock and even put that word in their filing. Yes, in bold. But here's the first thing to understand. She files this motion, okay, under what she calls a special appearance. Another one of those. Remember back when Jane Doe, John Doe, special appearance, legal theater? It's a way of saying, I want the court to protect me, but I don't want to follow the court's orders. This is me saying what I'm getting ready to say. How can you, and or should I say, you cannot ask a judge for relief while you're in non-compliance with an identity order? Courts don't work like that. We'll see. Now let's talk about what she's actually claiming. She says, and again, this is paraphrase. I'm going to read this 4-page or 5-page stay motion. She says discovery shouldn't happen because there are jurisdictional defects and Rule 19 joinder problem. Joinder as in, she is trying to say that this case needs another party to join this case. Remember we mentioned that yesterday? We'll get into it. Translate it into real English. If discovery happens, it will expose facts that make my position worse. That's it. That's what this is. She argues that because some conduct involves a non-party, how she's arguing it, the case can't move forward until that person is joined or the case is dismissed. There's actually a rule. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. The problem with this logic, this case is not about who pressed the record button in the private hearing, watching, recording, unlawfully recording in that PPO hearing on April the 9th, 2024. It was a closed hearing. There were 5 people, 5. 2 were party, and the other 3 was my lawyer, the judge, and the clerk. Anyone else, if they were around. And again, I'm just going to just pause on that and not go in too deep. When I make my filing, you'll see. 5. The other were party. Myself and the non-party PPO petitioner. Okay. This case is about who possessed the image, that part of the case. This is more than the PPO that let me just they're trying to push that this case is about that, and that basically alone, push it to the top, push someone else to the top. It's been a year. Have we been talking about that? I didn't even put their name in the case. I didn't even put them as a defendant. Let me just go back. This case is about who possessed the image in that part of the conspiracy, part of this case. Count 6, that the judge in the report and recommendations, ECF 75, dismissed because of what I didn't show. A meeting of the mind, it's called. Let me continue. Who edited the possessed original PPO image that has now been admitted to inadvertently, in haste, in a rush? Let me go back. Who published it? Who monetized it? Who interfered with something else that you'll learn about? And she already admitted those things in ECF 109, 114, 116, 120, all talking about this. And as the filings go, so did some very important parts of the story go. It went from I possessed the original to, by the time it got to 116, 120, there was alleged, there were words like discord. Really? You see, I have not read those ECFs on this platform. But yes, a mention of discord. Someone is claiming that the first time they even saw this image was on Discord, on something. They just kind of, do you just happen up on it? Okay, I'm not going to argue. Let me just focus. A defendant does not get to halt discovery just because discovery will confirm her own admissions. The quiet part that she's said out loud, the claim that discovery would force her to litigate third-party conduct, like she's going to be arguing for someone else who's not present, like she needs them. No, discovery would force her to answer for her conduct. Editing, publishing, monetizing, calling this office and that office, and filing pleadings based on. Let me just hit the pause. None of that requires joining anyone else. And then there's the most telling part. She asked in the alternative for a partial stay, specifically blocking discovery related to what she calls the Williams nexus and the court nexus. That's not a coincidence. She wants to block discovery related to that part. If she can't block it all, don't touch that. That is an admission, I'll say. My framing, my way of thinking of it, that discovery in those areas might be a little dangerous to somebody in terms of finding out something dangerous. You know, like maybe don't get that word mixed up. She wants that part. Don't go into that part. Because once discovery opens, the timeline locks in, the admissions get tested, the metadata exists, the communications exist. A stay isn't about fairness here. It's about avoiding accountability. And finally, let's talk about something else, sequencing. Courts stay discovery when a motion is likely to dispose of the case entirely. But here, even if every argument she made were accepted, the case would still proceed against her as an independent actor. She's trying to tether and say without the other, nothing, this is my interpretation, can exist, move forward. This person is that important in her mind to this case that she's put them at the top. No. This case is not about that individual. I'm suing Danielle Robertson and what she has done. This is a culmination, not just one PPO hearing. And what came out of it onto and into her hands. That's why the motion reads defensive instead of confident. So what is it? This really, what is it? I say it's D for delay. Tactic, another one, layered on top of a Rule 19 argument, layered on top of an identity refusal. layered on top of post filing admissions, not strategy, avoidance. And the court, I hope, sees patterns because this is just the latest one. All right, so let's get to this. The plaintiffs, this is the defendant's motion to stay discovery pending resolution of threshold jurisdictional and joinder defects. Defendant's motion to stay discovery pending resolution of threshold jurisdictional and Rule 19, submitted under special appearance without wavering jurisdictional objections. Defendant Daniel Robertson. Defendant, appearing specially and without wavering any jurisdictional objections, respectfully moves the court for an order staying discovery pending resolution of defendant's threshold jurisdictional motions, including Rule 19 joinder issues and Rule 12H3 subject matter jurisdictional concerns. You see one screen, but I'm moving between two. So this motion concerns procedural sequencing and the court's authority to compel discovery, not the merits of the plaintiff's claim. Let's just do this. D for discovery. Why? Because it's obvious that's where this case is headed. She wouldn't put that in a motion, stay discovery. Let's go back. Introduction. And really, this is my first time reading it through word for word. Introduction, sequencing, not merits. Discovery is not automatic, where the pleadings and record present unresolved threshold defect. The defendant has created this threshold notion and put it before the court in her other motion to dismiss. So there was ECF 125, that's this. Then there was a notice talking about this. And then the motion to dismiss itself on these ground of this procedure 19. But let me continue. Plaintiff's pleadings and subsequent judicial admissions place key alleged conduct, provenance, and authorization issues in the hands of absent non-parties, including Jane Doe number 1 Williams. What she is not saying here is it was the defendant whose subsequent judicial admissions placed Williams, the non-party, in the defendant's filing, along with the admission that she possessed the original PPO image. Why? You might ask, why did she admit that? Because, in part, because I haven't shown you these filings. I filed for copyright for the photo, that one image that was sent to the United States Copyright Office. And I applied for registration. In the end, they refused it. It took almost 1 year. There were delays. One came when the government offices were closed, but without me getting into too much of the weeds, the defendant knew that if the registration, it was looming, because I was updating the court. We were going back and forth filings, talking about jurisdiction, talking about dismissal. And in that process, I filed that the registration was still pending, or the application was still pending. The defendant thought that I had not even applied. This is what I'm thinking. Because when she learned that, she filed another motion to dismiss based on copyright. Again, I'm not going to get into all that. There's a lot. But the office could either register it or refuse the registration. Either one of the decisions would allow the court to take jurisdiction, subject matter, federal matter. Jurisdiction, this is really important. And she saw that. Again, I'm going to be real careful because there's just things I can't disclose right now or don't want to. You'll find out. But in her, I'm going to call it, in her haste to try to intercept I can't disclose something right now. That's right. Don't give them too much. You know what? Even when I said the word, what did I say? That other T word the other day? Then that ends up deadlock. She heard that. And she ran with it, in my opinion, because it appeared in the next filing. So, let me just stay on this because I'm sure people want to know how in the world did that happen. There's too much in the background. Let me continue. Plaintiff's pleading and subsequent judicial admission, she's saying I did it, place key alleged conduct, provenance, and authorization issues in the hands of absent non-parties, including Jane Doe number 1, Williams. Well, and further implicate custodial interest tied to the Michigan PPO proceeding recordings. She's trying to argue, I've got to sue the court, I've got to sue a non-party. Oh, this is getting deep. She is trying. Oh, okay. Let me just stay focused. There is a lot going on in the background, folks. I'm telling you what I've been kind of hinting, and now you can see some of this coming out without telling you anything. Because it's going to be a matter of record. So she wants to stay discovery. And this is arguments. Proceeding with discovery now would impose burdens and disclosures tied to disputed non-party conduct. So exposure. Ooh. And disputed custody authorization of alleged source. Now she's using words alleged when there were admissions in bold, and I can pull it up. ECF 109, ECF 14. Go, when you go backwards, what do they call it? Walk it back. Maybe didn't think I was gonna read something or see something, but it had already gone to print. So now, who are they bringing forward? Wow, I haven't been talking about that person at all. And now, courts determine, she says, source material. Let me just go back. Proceeding with discovery now would impose burdens and disclosures tied to disputed non-party conduct and disputed custody authorization of alleged source material before the court determines whether it has power to proceed at all, and before it determines whether dismissal or narrowing is required under Rule 19B or Rule 12H3. A temporary stay promotes judicial economy. She's saying, Judge, just stay this. Don't do all this work. I want it, I don't want you to work so hard. Proportionality and orderly sequencing. She wants order. Judge, let me help you out. She's doing all this arguing and she's non-compliant. She hasn't done the one thing. She doesn't want discovery. That's what it is. I've been saying it, and here it is in black and white, because we know once we go through that door, with or without, that opens up, the lens, so we can, is it the lens or the prism? So we can see, discover. Yes. A temporary stay promotes judicial economy, proportionality, and orderly sequencing. Rule 19, this is section 2, and subject matter jurisdiction are the threshold power questions she's created. I'll just put that on there. She wants to make the judge focus on this part, make her, I didn't think about that. Yeah, let's look at that. Plaintiff's theory. Listen how she's putting this. And admissions. Admissions. You mean that my response to what she filed in those 109, 114, 116, 120, she's calling my admissions that I say defendant, says XYZ. Create a claim-specific deadlock. There's that word, deadlock. You're listening. D for deadlock. Go and look up my other video. So what does she do? Create an argument for deadlock. That's how I'm going to put it, because that's what it is. Create a claim-specific deadlock as to the allegations defendant has identified as the Williams nexus. So the defendant is saying it's Williams. PPO petitioner Williams. She has put it in. She's calling it the Williams nexus. She's named it. And court nexus categories, i.e., allegations that, as pleaded, depend on one, non-party capture, transmission, intent, Michigan forum conduct attributed to Williams, and or provenance custody or authorization issued tied to Michigan PPO proceeding recordings. She's saying she pushed the button to record it. She doesn't want discovery to find out if it's true. Allegedly. What could we find out? There's Discord. There's StreamYard. Oh, I gotta be quiet. Let's go on. Because these Rule 19 defects, she's calling it, also implicate subject matter jurisdiction, defendant preserves Rule 12H3, which mandates dismissal whenever jurisdiction is lacking. Discovery should not proceed until court resolves these threshold issues. So where there wasn't one, she's put this in front of the judge, the court, and creates this one by arguing Williams' nexus, and without her. And oh my goodness, she pushed the button. She's trying to say that I specifically said, I never said that. Go back to my, if I never named, I said certain things. It's my belief. But I don't have, that's what discovery is for. And she doesn't want discovery. Absolutely. She said that Williams is, that's where you want to go. And this case can't move forward without her being in the case. And if she's in the case because she lives in Michigan, jurisdiction for diversity would dismiss the case. You see how this is? Substitute Now she's talking. She didn't put Williams with a caption with a nexus. I wasn't talking about Williams had named her, was the PPO petitioner. She first put her name in this filing, in her filing. That's facts. Let me continue. Notably, plaintiff herself has repeatedly sought substitution or joinder of Jane Doe number 1 Williams, underscoring that the presence of Williams is not a unilateral defense position, but arises from plaintiff's own framing of the case. Whether I've decided to move on that or not, I can sue whoever I want or not sue. Right now, we have to get to that point of discovery. I'm not going to telegraph all my plans, definite plans. She's trying to force my hand now and say that it's mandatory. And if it's mandatory that she's brought in, the judge would be forced on the basis of diversity. And she's trying to cancel the other pathway forward, which is subject matter jurisdiction, the Copyright Office. The refusal opened up the door for jurisdiction for the federal case. So she's saying, that's out. Now let's get diversity out of the way. Deadlock. I don't know who recorded. Do I really? I can say, yeah. Or if I've said, yeah. But it's discovery. You've got to have the receipts. And she doesn't want discovery. Because what if I'm not going to say? A stay avoids needless expense and prevents discovery from being used to force disclosures relating to claims that may not remain in federal court. Do you see what is happening? You have no idea what's going on in the background. But now you're seeing a little bit more. Oh. We, the judge, the court, this case, independent of all, need your identity. And she's saying, no, you don't need my identity. This case may not move forward. Stay it. Stay disclosure. Stay discovery. Stay until you deliberate on the issue, this threshold, this nexus, this Williams. It's going to cost you your honor. It's time. It's money. This case has been going on, and now I know it's been a year, but now let's change this. And by the way, I'm not going to give you my information. I want you to protect me, Your Honor. I don't want my identity. I don't want to be unmasked. I don't want to give you my name and my postal. But I want to argue. This is substantive arguments, really meaty arguments, stuff that she's asking the judge to consider and deliberate over, while pushing pause on this case to just get beyond the threshold. We're right there. We are right there. She knows discovery is next. That's where this case is headed. Four, protective basis, non-party conduct, and custodial materials cannot be fairly litigated through defendant. She's saying, I'm going to have to speak for someone else. They need to be in the case. I don't know what happened. I'm not a part of it. But somehow, I've admitted that I possess the original PPO image. And I've admitted that I cropped it, that I cut took the head off the plaintiffs, and I took another picture, and I took that person's picture off, and I put the together, and with lighting and with editing and with this and that, I made this image, and the plaintiff took that image and tried to register that as her copyright. My face, my image. And you know what? It was unlawful for that image to even get out of the court. So to claim that, she wants to claim that as her copyright image, when she shouldn't even have the possession unlawfully. How did you get it? She doesn't want discovery because those questions would have to be answered not just by her, but with metadata, with discovery, with real receipts, electronic receipts that can capture, that recorded the hearing, that recorded any devices used, plugged into, tracked. Plaintiff attributes key acts to Williams. Plaintiff attributes defendant's admissions of key acts to Williams. ECF 109 114, 116, 120. She realized in her haste to say, see, that doesn't belong to the plaintiff. It's mine. I had it. I have the original. I did this. I did that. Oh, really? An admission. New information, new evidence right from the defense's mouth in her own words. Your Honor, can I supplement? Can I file leave for an amended complaint? There's new information that will affect the case. That's what is going on, people. Everyone that I haven't been talking about. And she's saying, no, wait. ECF 109, I said this. 114, I said that. Now it's alleged. Now it's discord. Now it's, now it's the Williams nexus. Now it's, she's the key. Now it's, this can't even move forward. We can't get to discovery. Stop. Just pause everything. And by the way, I can't comply. I want your protection. I'm coming as a special. Right now. This is what's going on. Plaintiff attributes key acts to Williams. An absent alleged principal actor. Now she has become principal. Oh, really? I'm not going to tell you. Oh, my goodness. Defendant cannot serve as a surrogate for non-party intent. That's why I say surrogate, proxy, patsy, however you want to call it. She's saying, I can't be a surrogate, a substitute. I can't speak for what happened, who pushed the button. She pushed the button. I'm anonymous. So good luck. You can't get me because I'm anonymous. So here's somebody that they did it. Serve as a surrogate for non-party intent. So I can't tell you what they were thinking. Testimony or original source materials. Original. You said you have the original. And now, are you saying you don't? That's what discovery is for. She doesn't want that discovered, but she used the original. She had the original. She possessed the original. How'd you get it? How did it get from that sealed? How did it get out? How did it get into your hands? Somebody on April the 10th, the day after, the morning after, April the 9th was the hearing. The very next morning, the defendant went on her live. The video was called Black T Sector, Ted Bundy, April 9th, T. She deleted that video, but not in time. That is key. She's on the video. She can be heard talking about what went on in the PPO hearing, describing it word for word, talking about the judge, talking about the lawyer, talking about when she said this, talking about what I said to refile, telling the PPO petitioner what to do next. Somebody said, I didn't have anything. I didn't do anything. I'm not a part of it. I don't have to say it, but maybe that's what I didn't say to the court. Why they dismissed the conspiracy. I thought, you know what? I don't need to say the name and, well, let me be careful. I put the PPO petitioner and I didn't say anything, not realizing certain things, you know, I'm pro se. The judge said wasn't because there wasn't a conspiracy, but I didn't demonstrate that there was a meeting of the minds. And now that someone has admitted possession of the original, that might just support the meeting of the mind, but you don't know what else I have. And she doesn't want, now that I've got that admission, to get it in front of the court properly. The judge denied what I submitted because it wasn't a complete packet. So she denied it, but without prejudice means I can refile. That's what I've been taking my time preparing. It's a lot. I want to get it right. I want to get the receipts. I don't want it struck down. I want to make sure I cross every T, dot the I's, get the law, all of that right before I submit it to the court. I didn't get a deadline, but I'm not taking, it's just been 2 weeks. Now, come next week, it'll be 3. So I'm going to get it in. She wants to stop it. I'm sorry if this is taking too long for me to explain this part. And if I'm too slow, but you know what? Sometimes if you go too fast, or if I go too fast, then I miss something. Junebug, I'm reading from ECF 125. The defendant filed 3 things on Wednesday. I didn't see 125. I just showed you one. I didn't show you. I talked about 127. The motion to dismiss the new one. This is like, I think, the 4th motion to dismiss. Okay. But before that, this is the stay. This is a motion to stay disclosure and discovery. There's a new argument. So I'm not going to continue to explain, but I think I just caught you up just there. You're a regular. All right, where did I leave off? Plaintiff. Wait a minute. Let me go back up here. Proceeding with discovery. Risk forcing defendant to litigate third-party conduct without the required party present. So yeah, that's why it's called joinder. She is saying she's required, joined to this, tethered to this lawsuit as named defendant. If she's named defendant, she's saying then jurisdiction dissolves, court doesn't have it, it must be dismissed, and it's impossible to adjudicate this case without Williams. The conspiracy. She said there's no conspiracy, but what do we have here? I'm not going to say. I'm just reading this, and I'm kind of, thinking out loud. Plaintiff also characterizes the PPO source material as restricted or not publicly released by the court. Now she's saying that I say that. Of course I have said that. But guess who else realized and said it, knows it was illegal, knows it was unlawful, said it. They were in possession of, what did they characterize? Restricted, not publicly released by the court material? Yes, Junebug. Discovery implicating custodial Michigan court interests should not proceed until proper parties and jurisdiction are determined. Ooh. But she's saying the other rule is Rule 19. Bring her in, and that automatically dismisses the case. Bring her in. But wait, sequence. She's saying sequencing. She's saying, you've got it wrong, Your Honor. You don't need my identity. Let's do this in order. Let's pause that. Let's hold off discovery. And if you can't do it on that part, you got to do it on the PPO and anything related to the Nexus Williams. Because I can't be a surrogate. I can't get into her mind. I don't know anything. I wasn't. 5. Good cause exists for a temporary stay. The court has authority. Wait a minute. Can I just pause this just on that? The court has authority. The court ordered you, Danielle Robertson, you're listening, since you believe in the court's authority, you're not obeying the court's authority. There's an order. And now she wants, Your Honor, order, judicial economy, paperwork. Don't open up discovery yet. It's you may not even need to go down that road. Good cause exists for a temporary stay. The court has authority to control discovery and to issue protective relief for good cause. So she wants protection. She wants relief. That's why I'm saying substantive argument. This is huge. She wants the court to protect her. She wants to come specially named. She wants this. She wants that. She wants a fourth. This will be the third stay she has filed. She hasn't done these on time. She is holding out the court. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and then in the beginning, a stay lifted. We've got. Think about this. Six, relief requested. Defendant respectfully requests that the court A, stay all discovery pending resolution of defendant's jurisdictional and Rule 19 joinder motion, including threshold defects that may require dismissal under Rule 12H3, or B, alternatively, stay discovery at minimum as to the Williams nexus and court nexus. Allegations including discovery seeking or depending on non-party conduct attributed to Williams and or custody or authorization of Michigan PPO recording materials, recording devices. You mean subpoena the court? The circuit, the Third Circuit Court in Wayne County, Detroit. She's saying, stay. The court or authorization, Michigan PPO recording material. You don't know. You can't have those either. Just, you can't have my name. You can't start discovery. If you want to start, you can't get anything that's related to this conduct. That person is now moved up to the top. We know the non-party's identity. That's not who is being sued. It's ECF 125. Defendant's motion to stay discovery pending resolution of threshold, jurisdictional, and joinder defects. She's saying she's not even taking accountability in this. She's already admitted, Danielle, you've already admitted you possess. Now she's saying, you see, plaintiff, Danielle, this one I can say clearly, you admitted it. And that's why it's new information. I'm not going to tell you how I'm arguing it, but it's going to be presented in front of the court along with other things. And I know you don't want discovery to open. You know what? For this case and for what's going on over here with Unwind with Teddy and why in this sector, people think that this case is boring. They don't know this case. They don't have a clue. When they say I have the weakest case, nothing's in my case. There are so many moving parts and things going on in my case. If it weren't the case that way, do you think this individual would be going through all this? They don't even speak about this case. They speak about everybody else. They don't talk about this one. They're pulling records on all kinds of people. People don't know that that person who is profiling their cases, and they've got a case of their own. People need to know. Why isn't anyone talking about this? This is as important. Someone's going to say, oh, you're clout chase. No, I'm in a case, a legal fight here. Yes, they're afraid. I know the real reason why. No one will mention this case, because if you give it any life, if you give this case life and legs, if it stands up, if it runs through that discovery door, you see how disposable people can be? Push come to shove, they're going to figure out a way to say, and if you haven't heard the tape that I have, she's already said, the last person standing. She's already said it. Y'all just haven't been listening. And if you are the y'all that haven't been listening, I'm talking to you. But there might be a few of you who've been out there listening. I know you're listening to me. Because apparently, even things that I've said, yeah, like deadlock, no one wants to give me any kind of, they say you're bird brain. No, I'm not. They say you're not a formidable opponent. They say if you were, you'd be on top. Yeah, I have that in a recording. At me, swore me up and down with the F word, and I heard a little boy in the vehicle. Yeah. Listening to his mother curse me out while she was on station head in the recording that I now have. This person said they have a lot to lose. And if they were found out that something could probably be taken away from them because of their bad behavior, their conduct, them being on this platform, acting a complete fool. They said that in their own words, threatening people and saying for the rest of my life, they're going to make my life miserable. I'm suing you, Danielle Robertson. And she doesn't want to be held accountable. Instead, someone else she wants to take the fall. But she's pleading at the end, don't discover them either. A person can be a witness. You know, they don't have to be part of the defendants. They can be a hostile witness, but they can be a witness. I didn't say they'd be hostile. I'm just talking about cases. In general, go look it up. She's trying to say it's impossible. She must be tethered to this case. she's trying to dictate my case. I'm the plaintiff. She's trying to tell the judge what she needs to do, how to do it, why. Yeah, there's arguments, and it's called free will. I get that. She mentioned Discord in one of her filings. It was the fourth, I think the third or fourth filing. After she mentioned admission. So now she puts it over there. It's a moving picture. Oh, I can't tell you what else is moving through the system. Wouldn't you like to know? Stay tuned. I wonder, I wish I could tell you. You'll learn soon enough. I just want to get to discovery. And she wants to stand in the way. A threshold, an argument. Suddenly. Remember, it's winning. It's only about winning. Nothing else matters. No one else matters to this person. It's all about winning. Saving their. And by the way, if you wondered, last night when I was speaking, I had to pause. It's like when you take a breath in, it's like, wait a minute. And Gatorade too. Let me just stop. Put everything down. Breathe. Because last night I said, and that was just on 127. Yeah, thank you, Vicky. Take your time, Teddy. Sometimes I feel like I have to rush, I shouldn't have to rush. Someone knows that's where this is headed. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't. But she is putting forth all of this so the judge can think about it. All while, I have to keep saying it, Danielle Robertson, you are not compliant. Right now, there's an order. And you didn't comply with the judge's order. Instead, you filed 3 new filings. 1 to stay disclosure, to stay discovery, to consider a Williams nexus, and a motion to dismiss based on jurisdictional deadlock. It's 9:19. Last night I went to bed. It was super late. Even though I got off with you guys, it was what, 12:30? I didn't get to bed. It was maybe, like 1:30 or so. And I got up early, so I'm doing pretty good considering, you know, yeah, it's 9:19. So I think I'm doing pretty good. This is my night talk. I'm done. Yeah, because I got a long weekend and I've got to finish up. And now before me are 3 new filings. Yeah. And I'm just trying to get, mine's finished. So, yeah. Yes, I'm going to read your comments and then we're going to wrap this up maybe by 9:30 or so. I've been on for 1.5, but it was necessary, I think. You can email me right now at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. Deadlocked till they get that identity. How about no movement until that identity? She can get everything she wants. This ghost? This ghost? This anonymous person? Let me check my email. I'm good. Guess everybody's listening. All right, so now let me just change this here. Yeah, at the bottom here with cups. All jokes aside, I hope that the courts see through the propaganda. Email me at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. Hi, Jennifer. Hello, Fiva. Joanne. It's not me. Let's go to the top. Most people are in the bushes. And the fact that I, bring this like tonight, didn't put it on members. I could. But, it's not for me. I want this story to be heard. The facts to get out. The truth to get out. There's interest in this. People knew. Mm-hmm. Hey, Fiva. Vicky Black, my moderator, Baby Juju. Thank you both. You are great to the mob and Unwind with Teddy. I appreciate you. Joanne, I see you out there. And yeah. Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer. Now let's see. Buzzball. Sharon, good evening, good evening, good evening. Let's see. This is why I say listen carefully. All right, so now let's read some of these comments as we go along. Pass the hello. Joanne says, it's technically called unlawful use of an electronic communication facility device, a federal offense. They want to use something that was thrown out into their court documents. Always using someone else. Mm-hmm. Viva, hey. Can't never do nothing they sell. Teamwork. Mm-hmm. I thought I see. Let me keep going down. Jennifer says, that was my point last night. Regardless of who took it, there is only one person who used it for harassment. But I guess someone else either wants to get their hands dirty too, or they are being forced to be a fall guy. You haven't heard me mention that person on my platform. You haven't heard me mention, I don't think, that Williams name since the hearing, even before. Even before. You know, there's a lot to go back and think about. What was mentioned, there's so long ago. But because now it's all out there, it's going to be out there, it's in the public domain now. Okay? The defendant brought that name first to this case. And now look where it's at. Okay? Yes. Yes. They don't want discovery into how you gonna find out about people. Huh. She doesn't want her information out there. She doesn't want to be discovered. Talking about this defendant wants to stay hidden. But they want, oh my goodness, I can't tell you. Cups of conversation, exactly. Either that person throws himself under the bus or they will be exposed for what they have done. Clock it. Nexus, Lexus. Yeah. The Nexus. They've got the Williams Nexus. Then put a handle on it. Can't just say a Nexus. Jennifer says, and I don't feel bad for this third person because she put herself into this position and has been dirty too. Chickens come to because we were in a PPO and I haven't talked about this person, but I know somebody's talked about me. The T is teeing. Yeah. There's been all kinds of things said. Oh, narratives pushed. Oh my goodness, they don't want discovery. They don't want the Michigan board. Oh, they don't. They don't want the police. Discovered. A witness. A detective, maybe. I don't know how it can go. They don't want witnesses? Someone who could corroborate? I wonder. I'm gonna be goody 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 two shoes. Two shoes are better than one shoe. Don't you think? I would never use my job that pays my bills for anything or YouTube. That is crazy. Oh, State Street. Doesn't every major city have a state street? State Street. Oh, it's state of mind. That's what it is. State of mind. It's a state of mind. These independent contractors. Baby kids. Baby kids. Them baby kids. Oh, somebody, y'all don't even know. You go, you can play this to the judge. Why don't you just give the judge your name and address? That's what the judge, right now, that's what the judge ordered. I don't know what's going to happen next week. Cup says, I never heard of a truth teller hiding, needing third parties and those. Definitely a delay. D for delay, D for yes. Throw everything hoping something will stick. The Love, good evening. Welcome back. And thank you always for your support. Defiance. You know, it's these D's. D for defiance. And subscribe to Run Tell That Too. Can you do that? Maybe I should, start going over there for these announcements. I should have done that. And that would, at least give it visibility. Yeah. Run Tell That Too. We'll do that the next time. And subscribe to D for Danielle. Yeah. And follow me on Station Head. Yes. Bring the truth to the light, Lord. Fair use commentary. Wow. I feel like a song. I don't know. It's Friday night. Can I play one song? Let's see. Let's play this song. I played this song, and then we're going to wrap this up. Let's see. Any more? And this is why all the people on the other channels defending her who think they know so much know absolutely nothing. Her new motion, she's saying two things. One, that the court doesn't have the legal power to hear this type of case. And two, that Jane Doe number one, who is tied to the case, isn't included. Let's see. Walk it back. Somebody thrown under the bus. So if I'm understanding correctly, she is asking for dismissal or stay of discovery because someone unnamed but possible, a Jane Doe, could be implicated. Still trying to tell them what to do. D for deflecting. Basically telling the judge she doesn't have power. Whoever this is, boys. Who? Are you aware she's claiming that she is a resident of the same state as you, thus lack of subject matter jurisdiction, but the court will need her ID to verify that? I have no idea. They don't want to get to that discovery. Jennifer, that other person doesn't want discovery either because her name will be all over the documents being collected by the court. Hang on. State Street. It's a state of mind. Oh, yeah. It's the state of the art. Yeah, Williams Nexus. Lexus. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Isn't it funny isn't it funny that for a year she never made a claim about Williams? Never. Until she was ordered to provide her legal name and postal address. She never made any claim. Mums. Except the ones that she made on the discarded or the deep sixed videos that I have evidence. I have made so many copies of those videos. I made so many copies to put them on this thumb drive and that thumb drive. Driving but listening. This is some wild stuff. So she want you to sue her. Fran. Wow, friends like that, who needs it? Frenemies, enemies. Man, we said they was gonna turn. I said it was gonna get interesting, didn't I? But nah, nobody listens to me. Except a few. Thank you, moderators and mob. It's not me, says Teddy. Hang on, let me get some Gatorade. I have to be careful what I can answer too. Teddy, were there any other people, onlookers, in court that day? Just wondering if she could have been there herself too and not seen. This was a Zoom hearing over electronic devices. That's all I'm going to say. Jennifer, she has been creating needless expense for months by refusing to follow the judge's order. Yes. Right now she's concerned about the money, the judge, and the time. It's a lot of singing about to happen. DR is a friend to no one in my mind. It's her way. And who gon' check me, boo? That means anybody, the courts, Avengers, all of them are Avengers. Huh. Because who's going to pay your bill? I wonder, State Street, what's that about? Driving home. Safe travels. Please. I think the judge will write through this tactic, and make both her and Jane Doe reveal. They know. We know Jane Doe. How about John? Jennifer says people better get ready because when discovery comes around, it's going to be a whole lot of people named and they are going to have to give answers to the court. If it gets there, the flow of money from Cash App to Cash App, from LLC to LLC, possibly 2026 gonna be a great year for those that know. Duck too slow. I know she wished that one was. Gosh, if I didn't have that one. That's a key, right? It was less than 12 hours and she was on live after the hearing. Had that hot and ready. She called it T, Black Tea Sector, Teddy Bundy, the real T, April 9th. That's the full name. I mean, she named it too, right? The real T, April 9th. The hearing. She spilled the tea in less than 12 hours. Who gave her the tea to spill? How did she spill it? How did she quote the judge, the lawyer, know what people were wearing, describe them? Oh my goodness. Somebody saw something, and now we learn someone was in possession out of her own mouth, but she's trying to walk it back, I think. It's too late. It's documented. It's too late. You said it not once, not twice, 3 times a lady. Let's see. Ibez. No, I'm not gonna tell you. That is, you gotten that kind of. My filing will be next week. You say, just so I understand, just got here. You added more to the case with a new filing, like a conspiracy, which added more people. So now she's saying you have to add those. There might be something in there, but that's what I'm saying. That not all of what you said is true. Let's see. I wonder if any fruits will be found during discovery. Her ally from Michigan. There's a lot of people here in Michigan because somebody was in someone's chat and they pulled them up on the screen and said, I live only 10 miles away from her. They're surrounding me. I know. Okay. I got through all your comments. Now I said I want one song. And then we're going to say goodnight. Let me see. You may not like this song, but I'm going to play it. I've played it before. All right. I'm going to say biggest bear hugs go out to all the grizzlies, the honey bears. Please hit the like on your way out. Join me sometime, maybe sometime tomorrow. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Good night. Listen carefully.
By the time I get to Phoenix, she'll be rising. She'll find the note I left hanging on her door. She'll laugh when she reads the part that says I'm leaving, 'cause I've left that girl so many times before. By the time I make Albuquerque, she'll be working. She'll probably stop at lunch and give me a call, but she'll just hear that phone keep on ringing off the wall. That's all. By the time I make Oklahoma, she'll be sleeping. She'll turn softly, call my name out low, and she'll cry just to think I'd really leave her. Though time and time I've tried to tell her so, she just didn't know I would really go.